My name is Nick Scillicorn. I'm optometrist and director at Gillian Sheard Opticians in the Isle of Man. I enjoy the sight testing side of things. I like human interaction. I like testing people's eyes and meeting patients. I enjoy controlling the business, being able to plan for future changes. Being based in the Isle of Man is a different way of working. I'm used to working in the UK, but the Isle of Man offers lots of potential. It's a very close-knit community, so it's very rewarding when people are happy with what you've done. It does present certain logistical complications. Products can be delayed by weather and additional delivery times. That can be quite challenging, but it's exciting. I come from a 20-year optical background, most of which I've been working with large multiple opticians in the UK, where I've had very little input, very little control over what I do on a day-to-day basis. Working within the Hakim Group gives me the flexibility to shape what I do on a day-to-day and year-by-year basis. It gives me far more input and insight into the way the business is structured. They offer a lot of support behind the scenes, but also are hands-off enough to let me on a day-to-day basis deal with the business. As far as the clinical tools we have a lot of hardware, software within the practice to begin with. We've recently merged with another practice and taken on board their technical equipment as well. We're constantly looking to update and improve the equipment that we have, so as new technologies move on, we're trying to make sure we stay at the very forefront of the optical supply. The Hakim Group gives me the support of a multiple opticians, but the independence that I can deal with the day-to-day work in whichever way I see fit. I was at a stage in my career where I decided I wanted to look at management of some description. I looked at ownership in various different capacities, outright ownership, so as a sort of a full independent opticians. I looked at multiples, so being a joint venture partner with various different multiple opticians, and I also looked at going into partnership with somebody else. The independent route, the true independent route, is potentially very, very risky. You're going it alone, you've got a lot of pressure to make things work without any of the support that you sometimes need. The opposite end of the spectrum is the multiples are quite controlling of the business, and so really you have very little input yourself as to what to do. Speaking to Imran, he seemed to be offering the right sort of balance, the support that was required, but the independence and local knowledge to run with the project and see where we ended up. I'd thought about it long and hard. I was used to working for multiples. I knew how challenging that can be on a day-to-day basis. The true independent route, statistics don't necessarily stack up with that. It's a very difficult route to take, and it's a very, very challenging route to take. Possibly slightly easier to do in the Isle of Man than in the UK. But having spoken to Imran, discussed at length the options and prospects, everything that we discussed really seemed to sort of shape up exactly what I was looking for from the business. So I'd have to say, by the time I actually signed on the dotted line, there certainly weren't any reservations whatsoever. Well, the strength of the group is the trust and local knowledge. The Isle of Man is very unique in its setup, and Imran and the group in general have been quite relaxed on that side of things. They've allowed me to, with the team that I have here, to build a practice that's right for this specific location. This may not work in a different location in the UK, but it works here. So they've given us complete freedom to run with that. What the group gives us is, as I say, the individuality, but we also, all the practices within the group are interlinked. via an intranet system. We can all discuss common complications, common advantages. We can work around problems, and we can have there's a real group feel to the situation, but we're also independently managed and can define our business as we see fit.